Well, we gather here just 10 miles away from the U.S. Capitol, but I must say the vibes at CPAC are very different. In Congress, I'm often excoriated, smeared, derided for exposing a corrupt system that has been weaponized against we the people. I've made it a living hell for the swamp rats, and many of them are retiring now. In fact, CNN just ran an article blaming me for their departures. You are welcome. Truth is, we can't save the nation with the current Republican team. We have to get tougher, smarter, and we need newer, bolder voices in the United States Congress. So if you're out there campaigning and running as a Paul Ryan or Kevin McCarthy Republican, my message to you is this: they don't work here anymore. CNN is accusing me of wiping out institutional knowledge. But if you had knowledge of some of my coworkers and how they made decisions, you'd want to put them in the institution. The next phase of our plan is to replace the droves of retiring members with America First patriots. Republican primary voters must do their part, and the battle space will be full of enemies. Mike Pence just announced that he's building a $20 million fund to combat America's embrace of populism. And it's no surprise to me that Mike Pence is against populism. He was never particularly popular. People say I'm divisive, but this is the guy raising Republican money to weaken MAGA Republicans. And the media isn't on our side either. The Matt Gaetz chaos agenda. That was the headline from the liberal New Yorker magazine. I must not know what chaos is. Open borders, $34 trillion in debt, $2.5 trillion annual national deficits. Your government might label you a domestic violent extremist if you buy guns or Bibles or, heaven forbid, show up at a school board meeting or attend Mass too often. This sounds a hell of a lot more like chaos to me, because your chaos doesn't matter to a lot of the folks working 10 miles from here. Interest rates on credit cards and car loans are skyrocketing. Home ownership, the central thesis of the American dream to our parents and grandparents, is now a mirage to the millennials. They say inflation is down, but prices are still up. I never thought I'd live to the day where I'd spend $11 on a bag of carrots. Chaos for lawmakers is having to write budgets and take tough votes. The chaos they are willing to inflict on your life is changing things for the worse. I actually want orderly things like budgets that balance, single-subject spending bills, term limits, block grant Medicaid, drill for oil, export liquefied natural gas to anyone willing to buy it in dollars, demand that, I don't know, if the government wants to spy on Americans, they should have to get a warrant, and we should secure the southern border. Does that sound like chaos? Or the orderly administration of this country that you deserve? Now, Democrats, they believed in these things some point between 20 years and like 20 minutes ago. Now, they are the party of forever wars abroad, high prices, low tea, and reverse racism here at home. And by the way, speaking of racism, if it is not racist to ask for an ID for a hunting license or a fishing license, then it is not racist to ask for an ID to vote in any election in any jurisdiction in a free country, the United States of America.
monkey, get some.
Ms. Desevich is so involved in politics. She has very public, personal biases. We need perfect unicorns to serve on the Ethics Commission. We need people who are completely above the political fray. We need those who are not currently involved day to day in electing candidates, supporting candidates, bringing down other candidates that they don't like. How would you all feel on this panel if the person before you was the founder of Black Lives Matter or Equality Florida? You wouldn't be happy because you know they have a very strong bias one way. Fully admit to that. Moms for Liberty is that for half the state. They are as political, as divisive, and they have wormed their way into the top echelons of this government. And to say that she can separate herself from that is not possible.
Aw, someone's not happy.
Welcome to Unsanctioned.
It's a shame that we just keep pounding and pounding and pounding the people who want a better life. Coño, we have to change this. We cannot tolerate this. Children are coming here who are exposed in their own countries to human trafficking, domestic violence, sexual abuse. You don't want them. We have them here. They're coming here for a safe haven. Why not provide it? Why not go out there and say, you're welcome here, open arms. We're at a time that we need workers. We need people who will qualify, people who will do the job. But that's not good enough. Me duele el alma. My heart hurts.
His heart hurts.
His heart hurts, John. But
his heart hurts, yeah.
And I just want to say, John, real quick, that is Vic Torres. He is the current state senator for District 25, the seat you're running for. And this is a reminder to any of the voters who are going to vote in that race that that line of thinking is going to be behind his wife, who is also running for that seat, and Kristen Arrington, who is running for that seat. This man right here is the only one who is going to keep and prevent Osceola County from becoming a sanctuary county. Mark my words.
I never thought about that, but would all of if you look at all of our politicians in Osceola County and you look at all of the representatives that we have, certainly everybody on the left, we don't have like any moderate Democrats. We only have Democrats, we only have the blue hair, gender fluid Democrats in Osceola County.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that is, but that's what we have. We don't have moderates that are elected, and it's mostly because the more corrupt you are, the more crazy you are, and those kind of things go hand in hand. But that was Vic Torres, as Tom said. That's the guy who sits in District 25. He's currently termed out, and he's running his wife for that seat. And then also Kristen Arrington, who's the Democrat minority whip. And in order to be the minority whip, you have to be a Cruella DeVille type of personality, and she suits that. So, yeah, absolutely. I would absolutely be against any sanctuary status. Let me tell you why Victor, to respond to what Victoria says. He says that his heart hurts. Why not let these people in? First of all, I didn't see any kids in any of those videos, right? I didn't see any kids. What I saw was military-aged males by the thousands coming here looking for a way to do one of two things: either take advantage of the American laws and stupidity of the administration of Biden, or for some other nefarious reason coming to this country, which I think that many people fear, who create chaos, because they're not sending their doctors and lawyers and college professors. They're emptying their jails and sending those people here, right? I know one person who has a legitimate political asylum claim that I've met of everybody who's come here. And it was basically a journalist who was imprisoned by the Sandinista government in Nicaragua, right? Like, and now he's a Republican, and he's here, even though he's not he's not an American citizen, but he's here fighting for the cause because he knows what those countries are doing, right? And so, yeah, it's absolutely a sham. And Victor Torres has not, 8 years, it's been 8 years,
Nothing.
And our local senator has not been able to get one single piece of legislation out of committee. Not just pass it. It didn't even come to the floor for a vote. He has not gotten it out of committee. This is the important thing, because if you think that Brandon Arrington's wife, Cruella DeVille Arrington, she did get something out of committee. She did get something passed. It was the Beulah-Farquharson law, right, where she's the one that came up with this idea where you shouldn't be allowed to switch parties to run for the other party. Why did she do that? Because everybody would switch parties to run against her. She did it because somebody was about to run against her and switch parties from nonpartisan to Democrat. She didn't want that. So she wrote a law for it, which protected people who are already incumbents. That's her only claim to fame. It's time to kick these people out of office.
Absolutely.
Anyways, welcome to another episode. This is Unsanctioned Florida, episode 7. We had episode America last night. Tonight is episode 7 of Unsanctioned Florida. We have a great show. We have all kinds of things to talk about. I think we have some shockers at the at the end of this show, right? Absolute shockers.
Stay tuned, please.
This is going to be good. The Osceola portion is going to be good. Even if you don't live in Osceola County, I've had people come and say, man, I had no idea that stuff was going on. Okay, so several comments that I wanted to mention. I keep reminding myself and I forgot. Okay. Here's the USA Cup. I had it specifically because somebody asked me during the fair, what happened to your big USA flag cup? Did you break it? What was going on? They were asking about it. Here it is. It just was super dirty. And now it's clean. That was the only issue with the America Cup. So there's the America Cup. And the other thing was that I wanted to address was that somebody told me that on the show that all my shirts look the same on the show. I thought that was funny, because everybody always tells me all my shirts look alike anyway, so that was not a surprise. So yes, it's not an optical illusion. You're gonna have to pay attention to the episode numbers. But yeah, welcome to another episode of Florida, of Unsanctioned Florida. We have a great show. Here we go. Let's do a quick prayer and then get right down to business. Lord, thank you so much for allowing us to be in the great state of Florida, where we absolutely have enjoyed a tremendous amount of freedom while other states are losing theirs. This country is held together by states that are independent from one another, and we absolutely see that one state can be run better than the other. The state that I was born in, California, has been going down the drain in a death spiral for so many years. You know, we hope and pray that Americans in other states can eventually make their way back to being like the state of Florida. And we really we pray for people to be strong and courageous and stand up and run for office in Florida, who believe in the differences that make Florida free, as opposed to the things that make California horrendous. So continue to inspire, Lord. Continue to make our state great. Continue to make the people in Florida strong, and continue to keep your name in the mouths of all the patriots of this state. In your son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
All right, let's go. What do we got first,
to the
Tom?
State of Florida.
Down to Florida, we welcome you to the Sunshine State.
All right, beautiful Sunshine State of Florida, free state of Florida. And starting us off tonight, John, you know, Cory Mills, he's been a great representative, for the state of Florida.
Both of those guys.
Freedom.
When you look at the state reps that we got, when you look at state reps and United States reps, we have Bernie Jacques, we have Carolina Amnesty, and then in our House of Representatives, we got somebody like Cory Mills and Matt Gaetz, who you saw earlier in the show. Two great Florida reps.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, Cory Mills has gone ahead and added his name on legislation that's going to hopes to abolish the Department of Education. I'm not going to say it's going to, because it's probably highly unlikely that'll happen anytime soon. But Republicans from Florida who have signed on to this bill, which was proposed by Representative Thomas Massey last year, include Matt Gaetz, Bill Posey, Byron Donalds, and Anna Paulina Luna. And, of course, Mills signed last Friday.
I mean, Bill Posey's on there. Why isn't Dan Webster on there?
Yeah, that's
right?
a good question.
Dan Webster's Lake County. He's protected. That's a hardcore right-leaning seat. Why wasn't Dan Webster on that list? I'm not sure why he wouldn't have signed on to that.
That's weird. But it says in this bill that the Department of Education shall terminate on December 31st, 2023. That was, when it was last year. Mm-hmm. It has made no progress, however, only being introduced and referred to one committee in the House last February. So,
if we had a House, a chamber that was full of patriots like Cory Mills, it probably would have happened. As a school board member, I can tell you I completely and totally support this. We had Miguel Cardona, who's the United States Secretary of Education, who came down to Osceola County here at the behest of our very own ridiculous United States Representative, Darren Soto. And the one thing that they addressed was LGBTQ issues. They didn't talk about how bad our schools were. They didn't talk about how bad a Hispanic Secretary of Education and a Hispanic representative come down here and they don't talk about how bad Hispanics are doing in school here. Instead, they talk about transitioning kids from their genders. It's absolutely ridiculous. And of course, another chucklehead was there from the school board representing it, making us all look like fools. No wonder they call us tacos. Elitist deliberates call us tacos when that's what they do. It's just terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. But yeah, absolutely. Get rid of the Department of Education. It provides very little value. Instead, have a what we need in the United States is not a Department of Education. What we need is a Department of Archives, right? And they basically should archive all the data that's coming in from the school districts across the country, and then they can hash that data, parse that data out, and send it out to the school districts so that the American citizen knows the status of our schools. They should not be controlling education. We don't even need it. You don't need it. No. You don't need billions of dollars for a Department of Education when the schools, particularly per the Constitution, are a local mandate.
Well, that's the key, John, and you just said it right there. Billions of dollars. And that's why they can't abolish it, why there's reluctance
That's why they
to
can't abolish it. Billions of dollars and thousands of jobs, right?
Yeah. So talking about billions of dollars, the Seminole Tribe of Florida struck a gambling deal with an estimate at $4.43 billion, John.
Yeah, that's a big deal right there. That's a big deal.
Wow.
That's in one shot. You have to remember that's an incredible amount of money. It's essentially a gambling initiative, and it's all about online gambling. And so I'm not so sure how this would affect the state of Florida, how they're planning on making sure that our state... What we don't want is to create legislation that encourages decades of addiction, right, to gambling and things like that. And I think that they've been pretty careful about that. And you always see those billboards that say, are you addicted to gambling? Call this number or whatever. And that's part of the legislation. They don't do that out of charity, right? They do that so that they stay on the right side of the law. So it'll be interesting to see how this impacts. However, there's a lot of money coming to the state, right? From this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it says here that the deal, which was reached by the state and the tribe in 2021, allows the Seminoles to offer online sports betting, like you said, statewide and craps and roulette at the tribal casinos. In exchange, the tribe agreed to pay a portion of revenues to the state. So what that looks like, John, is payments to the state so far, $57.78 million in January and $62.24 million in February, according to the report posted on the website of the Legislator's Office of Economic and Demographic Research. Mm-hmm. The economists who meet at the State Revenue Estimating Conference estimated payments will total $343.9 million during the current fiscal year, which will end June 30th. And over time, the estimate would jump up to $749.3 million in the 2024-2025 fiscal year and continue increasing to $889.6 million during the 2028 to 2029 year, according to the report.
Yeah, so nearly $1 billion in the next several years. I mean, It's a ton of money. I get it, and we want that money. But Florida, you have to keep in mind. I hope that with money comes bureaucracy, right? Yeah. It seems like that's what you got to spend this money somehow, right? You got to create. This is what the state's job is. Go build those roads. Continue building those roads. Build the things that the Americans need so that they can get the products that they make and that they inspire and that they buy to market and to home. Right? That's what they need to focus on, creating the opportunities for American citizens to take advantage of the infrastructure. So I'm all about that. I'm not all about increasing the bureaucracy, certainly. And, we have had surpluses of $500 million and whatever in the state of Florida. And these are huge surpluses. And so what are they going to do with this money? I hope that they're planning on using this money to increase the value of our state for the American citizen and for Florida citizens, not just
major tax relief. That's what I would hope.
Major tax relief. That's That's a good one right there, right? Major tax relief. Yeah. Reduce these property taxes they were talking about, right? Yeah. And somebody had a good point. Somebody who was a close relationship to one of the state representatives was talking to me about the property tax issue, and they were telling me that this was basically a state. A way of the state to reduce local control over this, over their situations, local control. And okay, so that made me think, okay, well, that's really important. We got to really look at this. We got to look at how the law's written. We have to look at the legislation. We have to see how all this handles these things. But certainly, if we can reduce taxes on the American citizens, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be great. We definitely need it, especially
while keeping illegals out. I mean, at this stage, I'm okay with putting a gigantic wall across the border of the state of Florida, And
yeah, well, especially now we need the tax relief, but always because taxation is theft. So there you go. Sylvester Stallone, John.
Yeah, Rocky.
Yeah, he said he's permanently leaving California, and he announced he's moving to Florida. He did it on his show. I guess he has a reality show with his family. And this is what he had to say.
After long, hard consideration, your mother and I have decided it's time to move on and leave the state of California permanently, and we're going to go to Florida. We're going to sell this house.
What? What?
Yep.
Is this a joke?
It's not a joke at all.
Dude, full time. No LA time.
Full time. We already have the place. It's a done deal.
Yeah, it's a done deal.
It's a done deal. You know what else is a done deal? Poop in the streets in California. No wonder. Yeah, hell yeah, get out of there.
How can you blame him for
How can you blame him? Not only that, here's the reason. You know why these celebrities are all leaving California? Because they get assessed these gigantic tax bills on their houses and mansions. That's why they can't even afford. Even like millionaires can't afford to stay in these homes because you might have a $10 million mansion and you have a $2 million tax bill on that mansion every year. Can't afford that, right? Nobody's going to pay for that. So, yeah, get the hell out of California.
Well, his kids didn't seem too happy, but then again, they're not footing the bill. So, the First Lady of Florida wanted to welcome Sylvester Stallone to the state, and she did it in a tweet. And she said, "Welcome to the free state of Florida. In addition to respecting and protecting your God-given constitutional right to be free, you can also buy toothpaste without having an armed guard in CVS unlock it for you." And that's great.
That's a great response.
It really
it's hilarious and absolutely right. We do not need armed guards here in the state of Florida guarding toothpaste. No. It's amazing. It's amazing. So welcome to Florida, Sly, where we're happy to have you. And if you make a video like this, I would speculate that he's going to vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no reason to highlight the fact that you're leaving California, right? You just do it quietly like all the other liberals.
I don't think I've ever heard him be political. You know what I mean? Or see which side of the aisle he...
Well, you don't leave your state publicly like that.
Unless
you're making a political statement.
Making a statement,
right? Yeah, so you're making a statement. And it might have been like, I don't know, maybe he's got some kind of show or whatever that he... But you don't do that, because it's just like many things, right? It can't be perfectly neutral. It's got to be positive or negative, and there's a reason that he would do that.
Yeah.
And we hear it.
Yeah.
We also hear this bad news.
Yeah, some bad news. A report came down that Florida's car insurance, third highest in the U.S., expected to rise again. And it's sad what's going on with the insurance, John. Auto insurance rates last year surged 24%. And this is according to Insurify. as the rising cost of repairs, climate catastrophes, and severe car
climate
accidents.
catastrophes, huh?
Climate
catastrophes. Oh,
contributed
nice.
to these record losses for insurers, along with high inflation rates and fears of a recession that never happened. Never happened. I don't know about that. The average cost of a full coverage policy at the end of 2023 was $2,019 a year, taking up 2.6% of the median household income, and that's nationally. So when we go back and we look at Florida, John, there it is. Here in Florida, the average annual full coverage rate is $2,917 or $243 a month at the end of 2023. That's what the report said, but I know when we talked about this, mine's a lot higher than that, and I think yours is too.
Yeah, mine's higher than that. And I mean, you know what? We pay actually about $260 something a month per person on my policy. Yeah. And that's the problem is, you know, I mean, that's an incredible burden to have, especially now. I mean, they're suffering. You're mark it up. They're selling something that's marked up, right? They're talking about profit. They're trying to retain their profit. Americans aren't retaining profit when they're paying their bills, right? They're not passing on that cost to anybody else. So, I mean, we need to do something to sort this insurance company. Insurance companies can't create the type of returns that they're creating for themselves while Americans are drowning. We can't kill our country by doing this. No. And, you know, I had a very wise guy told me one time in some company that I used to be in. And I remember I gave him a proposal that was extremely high, right? And I could see that this guy could do it. And he told me, to make a long story short, don't try to get rich by one deal, right? And that's what these insurance companies, it's like we're willing to kill the entire state and country for their shareholders. But who are their shareholders at the end of the day? Yeah. BlackRock, Vanguard, and those people don't care about this country, obviously. No. So
they care about their bottom line.
Yeah.
So they're saying that number, John, is 44% higher than the U.S. average and the third highest in the nation after New York and Nevada. 6 months previously, Insurify ranked Florida the fourth highest with full coverage premiums of $2,419. Florida also was ranked among the 10 states where car insurance rates were rising the fastest. Full coverage rates in the Sunshine State represented 4.3% of the state's median household income in 2023.
That's a ton.
Yeah. $68,181, which is less than the U.S. average of $76,967. And nationally, insurance rates are expected to rise to $2,160 in 2024, Insurify said. A 7% rise in Florida's average would bring it to $3,121.
That's nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts. The wages are not increasing. I mean, this is Joe Biden's economy. Everything's working backwards. Yeah. Right? We're getting poorer every day. The everything else is increasing, and I mean the costs of life are increasing. It's in 3 years he's completely just destroyed the economy, and I mean we were
so many ways.
So many ways.
Yeah. So.
I hate this story. I hate this story.
Oh yeah, I do too. The University of Florida Student Senate passes a series of resolutions known as Green New Deal for UF. So this move marks the first elected student body at a public university to call for a Green New Deal legislation. The 5-volume resolution was pushed for at the school by the Youth Action Fund, a Gen Z organization that provides financial resources and strategic guidance to young activists in Florida. How wonderful.
I mean, it proves these kids don't know what the hell they're talking about.
No.
This is just crazy.
According to the movement, the document calls for a drastic on-campus action to address the climate crisis, including immediate implementation of the UF Department of Sustainability's Climate Action Plan 2.0, timely disclosure regarding UF's investments and financial ties within the private sector, divestment of UF's $2.3 billion endowment from all entities belonging to the fossil fuel industry, prohibition of any additional funding from the fossil fuel industry to facilitate the climate crisis, It also calls for elected officials across the state to reform and implant similar measures across all public universities in Florida. The School Student Senate oversees $20 million in funding, and their president has a voting member position on the Board of Trustees.
Wow. Well, that goes to show that these kids don't deserve that fancy college education. I mean, they don't know what they're talking about. They're too dumb to realize that nobody's going to take them seriously.
No.
Except for other people who are that dumb.
Yeah.
Those are the people that are going to take these kids seriously. Otherwise, it's absolutely... I mean, you would have thought, here's what they should have done. If you wanted to do it, let's say, it's not the opinion that they have that's ridiculous. It's the manner in which they make, and they exploit their position, right? Because otherwise, the story would have been, UF kids go through deep research on these issues, and they have discovered these conclusions based on this evidence, and due to those things, they're going to do X, Y, and Z and whatever, and they're going to create people who are going to come, and this is going to be like an overarching plan and initiative that's going to involve people and so on. No, they're just like, this is like AOC, a group of AOC serving drinks on the side. It's a joke. They make a joke out of it. And $20 million, whoever gave these kids $20 million to control is
it's mind-blowing, John.
It's mind-blowing. There's poor people in the street. They're spending money like crazy, and these kids are having like first world problems of the nth degree. And apparently they're not nearly responsible or smart enough to be able to deal with it. Yeah,
and it's like you said, instead of researching the issue, they had some activist organization worm their way into the student body, get control of these kids, pass this along, and it's basically the Green New Deal, like from AOC, just like you said, and they have control of $20 million.
It's nuts. It's nuts. Kick them all out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the problem is the professors are the same way.
Yep. They're the ones who preach this stuff to them. So before we move on to Osceola County, we have an important word from Senator Rick Scott.
Ronald Reagan were here right now, he would say, "What in the hell have you guys done to my great country? Crime is rampant and goes unpunished. Our border is wide open for criminals and drugs that kill our people. Our debt is $32 trillion and climbing. Inflation's growing faster than our wages. There's a land war in Europe. We don't make things in America anymore. We buy them from our enemies in China. We pulled out of Afghanistan like a bunch of cowards. We don't know what a woman is, and we think men can have babies. The government pays people not to work and says, no one has to pay their loans back. The game is now rigged against hardworking Americans who still believe in this country, believe in God, and the American values of hard work, patriotism, and self-reliance. But this is not a fight for the faint of heart. It's not a fight for the weak. We are losing our country. It's time to cowboy up and fight like hell to turn this country around. We can do it. Make no mistake, we will do it. I'm Rick Scott. I approve this message.
But we make the rules, and the people are fools, and they vote for us time after time.
All right, that's right.
That's
Just
right, wait till you see what kind of fools they think you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to start off the Osceola segment with this story, John. And it's hard because I did meet this individual on the campaign trail when I was running for city council. Osceola County judge reprimanded for lengthy delays, and it's Judge John Beamer.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I met him too on the campaign trail. Nice guy, good guy. Can't say anything bad about him at all. But let me say let me say this instead. I can say something good about him. In the entire time that I lived in Osceola County, probably the most rare thing for any elected official to do in Osceola County is accept accountability for their mistakes. Yeah. And if you read through this story, this guy goes on to accept responsibility. He said that these types of cases are not in his wheelhouse. He moves on. He's going to be supervised. People are going to give him help. The thing is, he was totally transparent about the entire thing, and that was amazing to me because the story would have been otherwise. Oh, John Beamer makes all these mistakes and blah, 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 all these bad. But no, this guy, he took it on the chin. He did everything in a humble way. What a great example. Wow. If you look around, aside from him, you have all these other people that Brandon Arrington names a building after his mommy, right? After she does nothing but violate the election laws for 2 election cycles in a row. I mean, and then do they ever accept accountability? No. What do? They continue to spend taxpayer money to get themselves elected. No. It is absolutely horrendous. It's a shame, but this guy did it the right way. I have a ton of respect for him. I respect him more now than I did before this came out. So congratulations to him as far as I'm concerned. He did the right thing. He was very transparent about it. He was very honest, and he was very humble. That is a servant of the people. And as a judge, thank God.
Yeah.
You know?
And he had said it to the news. He had said, he met with the chief judge repeatedly about these concerns, about these delayed cases. But as of March 2023, he had 24 cases with judgments pending for longer than 60 days. He said that, like you said, he said that he had a broken arm, time management, and personal issues, and a lack of familiarity with domestic law. So he basically said this wasn't in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, he didn't lie. He didn't go underground. He didn't try to bury it.
No, he didn't try to blame someone else.
He didn't try to blame someone else. Yeah, he didn't make something up. It's just, that's a rarity.
Yeah, absolutely. So, John, Osceola County, they're set their sights on building a technology library.
Ooh, cool, wow, yeah, right? Yeah, right. Okay, that doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, I mean, Osceola County.
Oh, that logo looks terrible, though. That logo looks terrible.
The county announced February 23rd that it was awarded a $4 million multi-purpose community facilities program grant.
Cool, so we get a $4 million building?
Yeah, not quite, John. The grant was from the state to build a $7.2 million 8,000 square foot technology library.
They got $4 million, but they're going to spend $7.2 million. It's kind of like Ricky Booth's football stadium, right?
Right.
Where he was like, "Oh, I'll give you guys $900,000. Thanks. Does it cost $900? No, it costs $2 million. Yeah. Oh, okay. So you just want your name on the field. That's all. I got it. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. They're saying it's going to be in District 2. Which includes BBL. They don't know where it's going to go yet. But it says some features include learning labs with technology as well as facilities for 3D printing and audio and video production. It would also include resources tied to emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and augmented reality, and co-working space. So the way I read this, John, is that you'll have kids there 3D printing, toys.
It's like makerspace, public makerspace.
Yeah, or cosplay, costume accessories. You'll have people with Oculus on their head doing virtual reality games and stuff like that. I mean, and the thing is, it's like we just said, they got the $4 million, but the building cost $7.2, so they have to put in $3.2 million into this.
Do they have $3 million?
Yeah,
we're swimming in cash, right?
Yeah,
we're swimming in cash in Osceola. They can't fix the traffic problem, but I imagine that we're swimming in cash in every other respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's the problem. It's very simple. They got $3 million. They're spending $7.2 million, right? They got $4 million.
$4 million, yeah.
They got $4 million. They're spending $7.2 million. Here's the problem with this. That is the entire philosophy of our city and county commissioners. They get half. They're spending twice as much.
Yeah.
And where you see it, they're giving away, like Osceola Prosper, right? Yeah. That money, that was a grant. They're giving away these free college, but this is taxpayer money, and there's no taxpayer input in these things.
Yeah.
So they're spending all this money. If you think that we are running it in the positive, in the black, in Osceola County, the only way that's happening is by not doing any of the road work that's required to be done to alleviate all of this traffic.
Yeah.
So they need to be resolving problems. Instead, they keep throwing these shiny objects in front of the citizens. But they need to alleviate the problems that we have in Osceola County first before they start building more buildings and creating more traffic.
Yeah. Look at how great we are. We have Neo City, the center of innovation. Look, we're going to build a technology library. Look how great we are. But yet you're sitting in traffic every single day. They don't have an answer for it.
What do you think they're going to call it? Who do you think they're going to name it after?
I think they're going to call it the Viviana Janer Technology library.
Oh, boy. Let's see. The Viviana Janer.
Speaking of Viviana Janer.
They might as well name it Peppa.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The Peppa Library.
Well, speaking of Viviana Janer, she just got a big new title. A shiny new title.
Shiny new title, man. I mean, they must be awesome.
Yeah, here it is.
Ardent proponent of serving people.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
John Young, 7th worst traffic in the entire nation.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. But yet she is always looking out for people's transportation needs.
Sure, she's always looking out for
transportation. She's now the chair of LYNX.
I would believe it if they said she was looking for transportation needs in terms of like Uber Eats or something like that. But I'm not going to believe anything about her worrying about the traffic. There's no way.
Not at all. And it's just amazing to me, John. Now she's the chairman of LYNX. Brandon is the chairman of CFX. It blows my mind. But I guess this is what happens when you have all these backroom deals and stuff that's going on. And
you know what? I wonder how you get those
dirty,
positions, right? Oh, yeah, you mentioned it. I wonder, what makes you think that somebody gets appointed to these types of positions? Is it just that they're a county commissioner? What experience does Janer have? The day that she was elected, what experience did she have? None. What positive experience does she have as a county commissioner that proves that she deserves this or that she's going to manage that entity in any positive manner? None. It would be like, it's just beyond me that people continue to fall for the grift. I mean...
Yeah. Speaking of grift, John, we talked, I think it was... Episode
this story right here, this story, my God. Listen, this is the big shocker of the night right now.
It really is.
Listen to this story, okay? This is the time to tune in. Listen.
We had talked about this story on either episode 2 or episode 3 of the Florida show, and it was talking about the lack of building space in the city of Kissimmee, and how they were talking about converting the old Kmart on 192. They were talking about maybe turning it into affordable housing, whatever they were going to do. So recently, the Kmart went up for sale, John.
Yeah, well, it's still up for sale.
Yeah,
right. It's still up for sale right now, and they were gonna, we were talking about these Kmart apartments, right? And apparently they're gonna tear down this Kmart, and they're gonna build a subdivision there, right? Yeah. Who knows who the developer is gonna be?
Yeah.
Right? I bet you that's not going to be a shocking issue. Who the developer's going to be is not going to be shocking at all.
Titan.
Right? Who knows? Who knows who it is? Who knows who it is? But
and we're not going to do the reveal yet.
We're not going to. Okay.
No. But we're going to say what it's listed for.
Who do you think is involved? Who do you think is involved in this deal? And how much is it worth? Right? It's got to be worth a lot of money, right?
So, this is it right here. It's 148,900 square feet. It's at 2211 West Earl of Bronson. There it is.
Whatever.
It says it's listed at $15.5 million for this. Okay.
$15 million. That's what they're selling this. Oh, it's an old Kmart, old department store.
Yeah.
It's like it's like 100,000 square feet or something like that.
Yeah.
$15 million.
$15 million.
God, that's been closed for a long time. Who knows what it's like on the inside?
But if you are interested in buying this old department store,
who would they contact?
Old Kissimmee Realty.
Wait, Old Kissimmee. Who owns Old Kissimmee Realty?
Yeah, who owns Old Kissimmee Realty?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's a big listing. So wait a second. So if you absolutely need an attorney to make sure that your deal goes just right in Osceola County, who do you call? Joe Thacker, right? You call the former school board chairman, guy who wanted to be a county commissioner, family Thacker, right? You got to call that attorney. If chances are, if you want something to happen, that's who you call. If you want permitting done, if you want to make sure all your property, you call some shady lobbyist who was involved with the illegal sex trade at some point, right?
No.
If you want to sell your real estate to the county, or get aid from the county and whatever, so that they can help you with this development and give you some tax credits and impact fee credits and everything else, what realtor do you have to sell yours and buy from? There it is. Oh, there she is.
No.
Greedy Cheryl Greedy. This is, and I've already said it before. I actually like her as a person. I hate to admit it, but personally, she's not an offensive personality. It's just she's not that. Right? It's not like Brandon Arrington, who's so just conceited and arrogant that, you know, just meeting him, you have to go take a shower. That's not the kind of. She's not like that. She's not like that. She's actually like a human being. But my God, she's corrupt.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this is crazy it's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's basically more than a $300,000 deal for her. Anyway, go back to that. Go back to the picture on the MLS.
Yeah, I was just about to bring it up.
So there's somebody else shady that's involved in this deal here, right?
Yeah.
Somebody else. There's another shady personality involved here.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong one.
That's the wrong one. Oh, Thomas.
All right. So it's
there. It is. That was it. Kmart, Cheryl.
Oops.
That's it.
Oops. All right.
No, it's not. No. Yeah.
No, that one is not it. This one is. And there it is.
There it is. What's that? Jose Alvarez.
Hey, is that No Way Jose?
No Way Jose, the
Wow.
former mayor. No Way Jose. What a coincidence that the former mayor, No Way Jose, and he's currently running for district. So basically, this property is in that district, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this property's in that district. If you want your permitting, if you want the county approval, if you want all these things to happen, well, you got to go to the county, you got to go to the state rep to protect your thing and your interests and to help fight and to promote and to make all these deals come through and ensure you get the funding and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Here you go, Cheryl Grieb and No Way Jose Alvarez. Got to be part of the deal. That's who you got to buy from them because there's no other way, right? You got to make your project happen. But if you want your project to happen, there's only one way to do it. You got to go to the corrupt people here in Osceola County.
Yeah, it's sickening. I mean, is this her reward?
Oh, what a good point. Is that her reward for stealing the election?
For stealing the election from Jackie Espinosa? I mean, and we all know that happened.
Right, yeah, because she was retiring. She had her house on the coast. She was leaving. You know, they didn't feel they had anybody strong enough. They had to convince her to stay. I mean, I'm speculating.
Yeah.
All right, so let me make that clear. I'm speculating. And so then she stays. You know, they put in the ghost candidate. They put in a ghost candidate, Carlos Irizarry.
Bang Bang.
Again, speculating that Bang Bang was a ghost candidate.
Yeah.
And then she wins the election because of it. And now she gets a $15 million deal. Now, why is this strange?
Well, John, what is the percentage she gets from this 15.5
2%. It's a 2% deal. And that's more, it's like, I don't know, $325,000, $325,000, something like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's several $100,000 as a thank you for, for
oh my God.
doing what you needed to do. And then No Way Jose. And this is political because what do you think he's going to get out of this?
Yeah.
He's making deals. Listen, I'm going to win this seat. I'm going to make a deals. I'm going to win this seat here. So if you make me a deal, you get me elected. This 15, my portion of that $15 million commission, helps me get elected, and then I'll make sure that I protect your interest. And and he's a bootlicker. He's a bootlicker. That's my impression of him always. And man, the corruption never ends, right?
It's unreal.
It's
John.
unreal. It's unreal.
Unreal.
$15 million deal. And it's candidates for office. What do you know, man? What do you know?
Yeah. Cheryl Grieb, part of her district is in St. Cloud too,
yeah.
John. And although she's almost never in St. Cloud unless she's running for re-election. But U-Haul announced the top U.S. growth cities for 2023. And could you guess who was in the top 3?
They're all Florida cities. Let's check it out.
Let's check it out. All right. So number 1 is Palm Bay, Melbourne. Which is
it's beautiful out there.
Yeah, and last year it was number 4.
Yeah.
Ocala, number 2. Number 3 is Charleston and North Charleston, South Carolina, which, blows me. I'm surprised by that. Didn't think that was really a hot area. Number 4 is Sarasota, Bradenton.
Yeah, that is beautiful in Sarasota. If you're coming from California, you have the money from selling a little 1,000 square foot poop shack. You sell it for $2 million. You come in Sarasota and you buy a beautiful home for $1 million. Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah. Then we go to Austin, Texas, College Station.
It's nice to see that our little cities here aren't being overrun, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's good. Interesting.
Dallas, Texas,
nice.
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Yeah.
One thing that the whole top 10 has in common, John, they're all in the South.
Yeah, no kidding. Of course they are.
They're all in the South.
So who's number 11? Oh, Kissimmee St. Cloud.
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder we're getting all this. No, all these people here. So
and then you go on.
Florida.
The top 13 are all in the South. 14 go to Boise, Idaho. I don't know what's there.
That's
potatoes.
Like halfway to Florida, I guess. Yeah. You're almost to Florida. That's where you stop. You get exhausted in Florida. Man, yeah, but so Osceola County, essentially number 11 in the country for fastest growing cities. Why do you think there's so much corruption here? Why are they desperately doing the things that they got to do? Because it can't last forever. It's only a matter of time until these gangsters end up getting locked up. No. They're just trying to do everything that they can until then.
Yeah,
absolutely. And trying to prevent it. But here's the thing. Don't let these guys get away with it, because if they go become governor, if they could, we know that Hair Gel Fred, he wanted to be the governor of the state of Florida, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But he's such an idiot that he couldn't stay out of trouble for long enough to not get there.
Yeah.
And kind of burn out early. Well, and that's the case.
Well, we'll have to see if he resurrects his political career. We'll wait and see. I hope not either.
I hope not.
So, moving on to St. Cloud, and we'll keep that discussion going. St. Cloud hopes to offer guidance for the state-sanctioned affordable housing. And, like other cities, Osceola County Municipality is chafing at the loss of control under Florida's Live Local Act. Now, there's the City Hall.
Yeah, City Hall.
What it used to look like. The city of St. Cloud is the first in Osceola County seeking to exert some control over a bold state effort to fund affordable housing, an attempt that could have wide-ranging implications. On Thursday, St. Cloud officials discussed a draft ordinance that creates a process and some clear requirements for affordable housing developers looking to use what is known as the Live Local Act. Now, the Live Local Act, under the proposed policy, developers must disclose the height and density of their projects up front. The city also would place the responsibility on developers to rent to tenants who need affordable housing, and it would reduce the amount of parking developers must provide in their affordable projects. Now, the Live Local Act, which took effect in July, established a $711 million state fund for affordable housing, but also diminished the authority of local municipalities to enforce their own zoning and height restrictions on new affordable developments. The intent was to prevent cities and counties from stalling or blocking desperately needed housing. The Live Local Act could have wide-ranging implications for the city by making already congested streets worse due to the act's lack of density and height limits.
So it seems prudent, right? It seems like it's a good idea to fight this, so that we can control the depth and the speed to which the development is happening.
Yeah.
Is that why you think they're doing this?
No.
You sound so certain. Do you know these guys or something? Of course they're not doing it for these reasons.
History, yeah, that's for sure.
Of course they're not doing it for these reasons. Of course they're not. No. Would they do something good? No. Why? Here's what happens. If the state takes control, then the developers no longer have to bribe these crooks to get what they want, right?
That's right.
Because they have to, they're going to approve it no matter what, just like they've approved it. They use the stalling tactics to force and squeeze these developers to kick into their political campaigns. And the fact that they can't do that now, if this comes into effect, then these developers now have to find, or these crooks in office, these elected crooks, now have to find a different way to put the squeeze on these developers so that they continue to kick in and kick in and kick in, and to be able to decide which developers win and lose. right? Because we know they like to help the local developers who are all about being gangsters and crooks. So that's what they're doing. It's not. They're not trying to save you. They're not trying to save our community. They're trying to save their investments that they've made. They've been crooks for so long. How do you change it? You can't go work at McDonald's now, right? if you've been a crook for 30 years, you're not going to go work at McDonald's flipping burgers now, right? So no. So what are you going to do, man? You got to make your way. You got to figure it out. And, so, if only we could trust these guys. If only we could trust them. And
and then they cleverly craft this in the paper to make themselves look good, like they're gonna, try and take a stance against this or whatever.
We see right through it. There's another story that we're working on right now about somebody asking for $200,000 from somebody to get an easement from the county. So we're investigating the story right now. So you're gonna have to stick with us and hear. But if you're somebody at the county asking for $200,000, we may have the beat on you.
Yep.
Right. So we'll let you know about that in some later episode.
Absolutely.
That's it, right?
No, that is not it,
John. I thought we were gonna end on time.
We have one more thing.
Okay.
All right, one more thing.
Oh, this is the story I was trying to prevent from airing. I'm not from airing. I'm trying to prevent from it being reality. Yeah. How can this be, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah. Guess who's back?
Humanity.
A real conservative who's real conservative, like Erica Booth. Booth will fight soaring insurance costs.
That's a lie.
And cut taxes.
Another lie.
Cut inflation. Cut the woke BS.
Please. Stop lying.
Real conservative who's real conservative. Erica Booth.
No. It's a great story, but...
No.
So the week after she won the primary, the Republican primary, she voted to send a librarian to some woke conference where they have classes like converting your library to LGBTQ friendly libraries. The whole reason she lost was because she was a fraud. Everybody knew it. Everybody knew she was a fraud. Everybody knew that she was not Trump's niece, like she was saying. She was not DeSantis' sister-in-law, like she was saying. She was telling everybody that she was a real conservative, the real conservative. Come on, man. We know that wasn't the case. That was all.
We knew that from day one.
That was all BS. They spent $2 million from what I understand now, right? We thought it was one. They spent $2 million on that race. Then they lost. They basically surrender it to the Democrats. And then she has the nerve to file again.
Yeah.
So listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you have an interest in running for this seat, we're going to pray hard about recruiting somebody to run in District 35 who actually is a real conservative and who is real conservative, not somebody who likes to convert kids' transgender ideology stuff.
Yeah.
It's
just unbelievable that she's filed already. She filed on February 22nd to run for state representative in 35 again.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. It's absolutely crazy that she would do this. Yeah. They have no shame. Yeah. That's the problem. They have no shame. And so Governor DeSantis, I hope that somebody who listens to the show, who will talk to him, do not endorse this person. Do not get involved in that race.
I really hope that the Florida GOP does not put any money into that
don't
race
do that,
again.
GOP.
Don't do it again.
Evan Power,
don't try
do
and
that.
pick the
don't
winner.
do it. Don't do it. Number one, it's bad to try to pick the winner in this local race. Yeah. Number two, the community already told you they don't want her. They told you they don't want her. So just a few weeks later, she's going to run again? They don't want her. She didn't lose because of the Democrats. The Democrats didn't win any seats.
No, they didn't.
It wasn't the Democrats who won this race. It was the Republicans who insisted that it was not going to be her. Yeah. And they're going to do the same thing. So please don't waste our money. Yeah. Don't waste all of our hard-earned contributions to the party and help her. Don't do it. No. Don't do it. Is that all?
So far, we have two candidates for 35. We have Erica Booth, and Diana Liebnitzky has filed as a Republican in 35 to run against Erica Booth. I haven't seen anything from Diana yet. I do know Diana and Wayne. Friendly with them. I don't have any issue with them. I remember when Diana ran against Fred in 2020, and I saw a debate between her and it was her, Fred, and I can't remember who the other person was. That's how. And I think Gary Scott was supposed to be there, but he was away working at the time. You know, he had a very important government job. And Diana cleaned Fred's clock, and I think that's why he refused to debate when he was running for, when he was running for re-election. He refused to debate. He would not appear at a debate, and I believe it's because, you know, he got upstaged by a woman.
He's an idiot. He's an idiot. I mean, if I were him, I wouldn't debate either. Just like if I were, you know, Joe Biden, I wouldn't debate. Yeah. You know, but so is she. She's not going to debate either, and Diana would absolutely clean her clock. No. But I'm not confident in Diana's candidacy for this race. I can't be, because when she ran, and she's run multiple times, her and Wayne have run multiple times. They're not. Okay, so I get the like, people cast a label on me of not being a team player, right? I am a team player. I'm not willing to sell my integrity for ambition. That I'm not willing to do. I'll never be on that team where you just bend the knee and you sell your soul. I'm not going to do that ever. But being a team player means, hey, sometimes it's not you. You're going to have to help the team get across the finish line with these things, with good people, and they don't do that. So the way that I see Diana Lipnitsky and Wayne is that they're more like interference who cause people like Fred Hawkins to win. They're more like they're more help to Fred Hawkins and Erica Booth than they are actual candidates, right? And it's the same with, like, what was the other guy's name? A friend of ours, former friend of ours. Ken Davenport. Okay, Ken Davenport, who I liked and who I supported in a previous race, right? But he was not going to win. That was clear. He didn't raise any money. The only chance that he had of winning was when he ran against Fred 2 election cycles ago. And then the Lipnitskys got in that seat, and they basically prevented that from happening. Now, the combination of Fred Hawkins putting millions of dollars in that race to beat them, and then them splitting the vote, made it impossible for, so that was the problem.
I think that they saw it differently, and I'll say this, I know that they've run multiple times. I think that if we saw a fighting Diana like we saw in 2020, I think that she could take on Erica and take on Erica strong. I mean, I think she'd have a good chance. But she has to come out fighting. She has to be a fighting Diana. She can't just sit back and just,
Well, the other problem that I have with her, let's say aside from that, let's say that that's the best candidate. That's the only anti-Fred Hawkins, anti-Ricky Booth, anti-Erica Booth candidate that we have. All right? Okay, fine. Then it has to change. The messaging that she had last time has to change, because you can't run on nothing but being a nurse. That can't be the only thing. The only thing. And when I heard her speak multiple times, she had the same thing, which is common, right? Candidates, they practice a script, and then they go and they deliver that script, and then they get really good at delivering that script, which she was good at it. The problem was the script wasn't very good. So you have to have a platform that appeals to more people, because what she had has not been successful and will not be, in my estimation. I'm not some genie.
We all know what the priorities are right now. I mean, they're clear as day.
Yeah.
We know that, the economy, the border, all these things, they're very clear priorities. We need to address those as a candidate. So, for Diana, I hope that she does. I hope that she fights.
So you're a Diana supporter right now. You're ready to call it? You're considering that?
I am. I'm waiting to see who gets in this race, but I would support Diana over Erica Booth any day of the week. I mean,
I haven't talked to them in a long time, but I don't know. That's something to consider for sure.
Yeah, and I'll reach out to Wayne, because I know Wayne. I've talked to him multiple times. I like Wayne.
I've talked to him, and it's not that I don't like them personally. It's just that they've made real childish moves. I've seen them do things that I don't like. It's not like Ken Davenport, where he's challenging people to fight, or or sending obscene.
He challenged Wayne Lipnitsky to a fight.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not. That's kind of silly. That's silly stuff.
It is.
So I mean, it's one thing to make fun of somebody. So you challenge somebody to a fight. That's silliness.
Yeah.
But
we'll have to see if he gets back in this race. I mean,
here's the thing. I think that Ken. Here's the telltale sign. If you see another male get into that race, because now you have 2 women splitting the vote, right? And the male can get into that race, and then the male might have a better chance of winning. And then you see Ken get in after that, you'll know he's in on it. Right? That's my speculation. He's in on it and he's preventing it. I always suspect that you have that ghost candidate, because here's the thing, people like our friend, that lobbyist who supported the illegal sex trade, he will come and reach out to you and maybe call you and offer you whatever and try to get you. You'll say it's 10 grand. He'll offer you 10 grand to run, put your name in it, act like you're gonna run. I don't care how you use the money. I'm gonna give you 10 grand. You file. Okay, fine. So you do it, you run, you kind of throw a sloppy campaign together. You're not going to win, but man, at least it was 10 grand, right?
Yeah.
So, or more. Let's say it's more. Let's say it's 15. Let's say it's not a county commission race, it's state rep race. So they give you 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 bucks. For those people who think that never happens, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. It does happen. That's how politics is played here. That's what we're fighting against. That's why we have this show. That's the whole reason we did this show, is because of these dirty games. Yeah. Right? So that stuff happens, and I don't know. I'm not saying that I know that Davenport did that. I'm just saying that
that's how it looks.
That's how it looks when you have no purpose, no rhyme, no reason, no campaign. The same treasurer is the treasurer for both of your campaigns, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So I think that I don't know. I'm not convinced that that's not the case with the Lipnitskys either yet. I don't know. Certainly, if it was down between Diana Lipnitsky and Erica Booth, I would vote for Diana Lipnitsky.
Absolutely.
I mean, if it's the two of them, if those were the only choices.
I mean, she's just a stronger candidate overall.
She's a stronger person. She has a stronger voice. She has a stronger background.
Yeah.
She has a stronger resume. There's nothing about Diana that's not stronger than Erica. Except maybe her convictions. I don't know. That's what I'm not sure.
I just want to see the fight. That's all. I want to see her take it to her. And I think she can.
The other thing is I'm curious about how conservative she is. Then let's say that she passes all the other litmus tests involved, then it's a matter of where is she at? Because I know that she was like pro-vaccine at one point. Right? So I don't know what level she was at. I don't remember for sure. I'm not going to speak for her. I don't know, whatever. Maybe she can come and explain her own views on the show or something. Come on the show, explain her own views, and she can handle. Because here's the thing: we don't take it easy. We just have the real dialogue. We have a real conversation, and you don't have to agree. He and I already don't agree on this issue, right? That's okay. No problem. We don't have to agree, but we will treat you with respect, and we will allow you to say your piece, and we'll allow you to, get your even Erica Booth.
Yeah.
We would even take Erica Booth. Would even allow Erica Booth to sit right here and lie through her teeth. Right? We'll challenge her on it, but
she's going to get the tough question. She's not going to get the fluff.
You're going to get asked the real question. There's no fluff. Any candidate comes on here, doesn't matter if they're allied with me or aligned with me or friends with Tom. They come here, they're going to get asked real questions. That's the bottom line. Which is why nobody likes to come on the show, right? Because everybody's afraid of the truth. But the fact is, we will come here and we'll give you the courtesy to be able to put out whatever,
absolutely.
Right? I would even take that dirty lobbyist who supported the illegal sex trade here. I'd even allow him to come on. In the end, the show is not about hiding, it's about being transparent. So we want to know the truth. We want to know what's going on. And we don't mind answering and asking the hard questions. And we don't mind people coming in here and fighting for their own causes. So that is it.
That is it.
That is the show.
That is it.
And we look forward to talking more about that race. We're going to follow that race closely. I guess you and I are going to continue to work to see what we do in that, how we take action in that race.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Yeah, we'll see what comes of it. I mean, I'm sure that somebody else will get in there. I have no doubt about it. I mean, somebody else is going to get in there.
Well, here, hopefully,
no Democrat has filed yet, and
Tom's going to run again.
Tom Keene will run again.
Tom's going to run again, and I doubt they're not going to allow Tom to go through a primary. They already canceled the primary for Biden. They're going to cancel the primary for Tom too, even though it doesn't work the same way. That believe me, there's no Tom is not going to go through a primary.
No.
So Erica Booth is going to have to go through I guarantee you this: she's going to run through a horrific primary.
I hope so.
She's going to go. I guarantee you. I mean, Tom, I'm going to file for your name. I'm going to put your name in that. There's no way that there's not going to be a primary in that race.
I don't live in 35.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm going to put you in that race. You only have to move there if you win. So be prepared. I'm going to put your name on that list. If nobody else files at all, I'm going to put your name on the list. or anybody else. I don't care. I'll put my dog Prudence in that race. There's absolutely, positively no way that there's not going to be a primary in that race. So we're gonna make something happen there.
Yeah.
And we made something happen last time.
Yeah.
So we'll continue on that path.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for watching another episode of Unsanctioned Florida. We truly appreciate you guys. We love you. Thank you so much. Here's my, don't worry, I'm always going to have my USA Cup again until they get super dirty again. And maybe I'll change up, wear a different color shirt, not a blue shirt again.
Maybe a pink one.
A pink shirt, absolutely. I'll wear a pink shirt. Thank you. God bless you. Have a great night. Please like and share the show. Let us know where you're watching from. Reach out to us if you want to come on the show, you want to call in or something, let us know. All right. Thank you. God bless.
We'll see you next week.